They don't make them like they used to. Back in the 70s, automakers built engines that could outlive their owners. But which cars truly stood the test of time? Which engines keep roaring even after 200,000 miles? Don't worry, we've done the research, dug through owner reports, and analyzed real-world longevity to bring you the 20 most reliable cars of the 70s with engines that refuse to quit. And trust us, number 7 is a hidden gem that no one saw coming. Before we jump in, hit that like button if you appreciate timeless engineering, and subscribe so you never miss our latest rankings and expert picks. Now, let's dive in. The Dodge Dart was one of those cars that just refused to die. Built like a tank, yet surprisingly simple to maintain, it became the go-to choice for drivers who wanted a dependable ride without the trouble of constant repairs. Under the hood, the Dart offered a variety of engine options, starting with a 225 cubic inch 3.7-liter inline-six, producing 145 horsepower, more than enough for daily driving. But for those craving more power, Dodge packed in V8 options like the 318 5.2-liter and the high-revving 340 5.6-liter with a Carter Thermo Quad 4-barrel carburetor. Paired with either a 3-speed manual or the legendary Torque Flight automatic, the Dart was as reliable as it was versatile. Its cast-iron engine block and straightforward mechanical systems meant it could rack up 200,000-plus miles with ease. Even today, it's a favorite among classic car lovers, thanks to its durability and ease of restoration. Sharing much of its DNA with the Dart, the Chrysler Valiant was built to last. It wasn't flashy or aggressive. It was practical, tough, and unbreakable. Equipped with the same inline-six and V8 options as the Dart, the Valiant focused on reliability above all else. But what really made this car a mechanic's dream? Why did it refuse to quit, even after decades on the road? Its cast-iron block and simple carburetor setup meant fewer breakdowns. And even if something went wrong, repairs were cheap and easy. Whether you were a city commuter or a long-haul driver, the Valiant delivered consistent performance with minimal fuss. Owners praised it for its bulletproof reliability, and it wasn't uncommon to see these cars cross 150,000 to 200,000 miles with proper care. Fuel efficiency wasn't bad for the time, especially with the inline-six models, making it a practical and long-lasting choice. It may not have turned heads, but if you needed a car that would stick around for decades, the Valiant was hard to beat. Would you pick the Dodge Dart over the Chrysler Valiant? Tell us your pick below. If the Dart and Valiant were built for dependable daily driving, the Jeep Wagoneer was designed to go anywhere and survive anything. Before SUVs became luxury status symbols, the Wagoneer was a true off-road king, with an unmistakable mix of rough durability and comfort. Built on a 108-inch wheelbase, it came with either a 258 CID inline-six or a 360 CID V8, the latter pushing out 175 horsepower. Its body-on-frame design and heavy-duty cooling system made it perfect for tackling mud, snow, and rocky trails. With a 3-speed automatic transmission, it wasn't built for speed, but it could easily surpass 200,000 miles with regular upkeep. Prices started at around $3,000, making it one of the pricier options of its time, but it was worth every penny. As one of the first true luxury SUVs, it set the blueprint for generations of off-roaders and remains a classic favorite among 4x4 enthusiasts today. Before we dive into the next set of indestructible machines, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more legendary cars that refuse to die. There was one underdog sedan that defied all expectations and became a cult classic. Can you guess which one? The AMC Hornet was one of those underrated gems of the 70s. Not flashy, but built to last. Available in sedan, hatchback, wagon, and coupe body styles, it had something for everyone. Power came from a 232 cubic inch inline-six, producing 90 horsepower. But for those wanting more grunt, AMC offered a 258 CID6 and even a 304 CID V8. Paired with a 3-speed manual or automatic, it wasn't the quickest car, but it was tough and dependable. The overhead valve design and timing chain setup meant fewer breakdowns, and AMC's buyer protection plan in 1972 reassured buyers of its quality. With a starting price of $1,995, it was an affordable workhorse, and many Hornets easily surpassed 100,000 miles with proper maintenance. It even made an appearance in The Man with the Golden Gun, proving that sometimes the most unassuming cars have the longest stories to tell. Moving on, the Datsun 510 proved you didn't need a big engine or a heavy price tag to own a fun, reliable car. With its lightweight unibody construction and sporty handling, it punched far above its weight class, earning comparisons to European sports sedans. Power came from a 1.6-liter L-Series inline-4 with an overhead camshaft, making it both peppy and dependable. The timing chain setup meant less frequent maintenance, while the well-designed cooling system ensured longevity. Paired with a 4-speed manual, the 510 was a joy to drive. But what made the Datsun 510 different in the world of affordable performance sedans? With a starting price of $1,996, it was an absolute bargain, and Datsun sold over 500,000 units, proof of its popularity. Many of these cars surpassed 200,000 miles with proper care. Today, the 510 remains a beloved classic, cherished by enthusiasts who appreciate its balance of reliability, affordability, and fun behind the wheel. Moving into the mid-70s, we got the Datsun B210, another compact Japanese car that built a reputation for being nearly indestructible. This was the car you bought if you wanted something cheap, efficient, and dependable, perfect for city commuters and budget-conscious drivers. Datsun kept things simple with the B210, offering a choice of 1.2-liter and 1.4-liter inline-4 engines. Like the 510, these engines were built with a cast-iron block and featured a strong crankshaft, ensuring longevity. The timing chain system was another win for reliability, requiring less frequent maintenance. The B210 also had an efficient cooling system, keeping the engine in good shape even under stress. Buyers could opt for a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic transmission, but most enthusiasts preferred the manual for its engaging drive. One of the B210's biggest selling points was its fuel economy. At a time when gas prices were climbing, this car was a lifesaver. It was also incredibly affordable, with prices starting at around $2,000 in the US. Many of these cars easily surpassed 150,000 miles with basic upkeep, cementing Datsun's reputation for building some of the most reliable small cars of the era. But reliability wasn't just limited to their sedans. Datsun proved they could build a sports car that was just as tough. The Datsun 240Z was a car that made sports car performance accessible without breaking the bank. Sleek, lightweight, and built with precision, it quickly became a favorite among enthusiasts. At its heart was a 2.4-liter inline-6 engine with dual Hitachi side-draft carburetors, pushing out 151 horsepower, plenty of punch for a car that weighed just over 2,300 pounds. The engine was designed for longevity, featuring a durable timing chain and a well-balanced crankshaft. Buyers had the choice between a 4-speed manual transmission for those who wanted full control or a 3-speed automatic for a more relaxed drive. What really set the 240Z apart was its balance of power, handling, and reliability. The cooling system was well engineered, keeping the engine at optimal temperatures even under spirited driving. Consumer reports and early JD Power reviews were overwhelmingly positive, with many owners racking up well over 200,000 miles without major issues. Fuel efficiency hovered around 20 to 25 miles per gallon, making it practical even for daily use. Originally priced at around $3,500, the 240Z was an absolute bargain for the performance it delivered. Today, it's a highly sought-after classic, proving that great design and engineering can stand the test of time. If the Datsun 240Z was a precision instrument, the Ford Mustang was pure American muscle, loud, aggressive, and impossible to ignore. By the early 70s, the Mustang had bulked up, moving slightly away from its pony car roots, but it still packed a punch under the hood. Ford offered everything from inline sixes to thunderous V8s, paired with either a 3-speed automatic or a 4-speed manual transmission. The cast-iron engine blocks and heavy-duty crankshafts ensured durability, though Mustangs weren't as bulletproof as some of their Japanese competitors. Overheating and timing chain wear were common issues in high-performance models, but with good maintenance, some Mustangs pushed past 150,000 miles. Pricing ranged from $3,000 to over $6,000, depending on trim and options. Fuel economy? Let's just say no one bought a Mustang for savings at the pump. It was all about power, presence, and pure driving excitement, a legacy that still holds strong today. But while the Mustang ruled the streets, the Ford F-150 dominated the work sites. Built like a tank, this pickup could take a beating and still keep going. Introduced in 1975, the F-150 was a beefier alternative to the F-100, quickly becoming America's best-selling truck. Engine choices ranged from the legendary 300 cubic inch inline-six to the massive 7.5-liter V8, delivering 245 horsepower. While it wasn't built for speed, the 3-speed manual or select shift automatic transmission made it easy to handle. The carbureted engine and simple cooling system meant repairs were straightforward, a mechanic's dream. Owner feedback was overwhelmingly positive. These trucks just wouldn't die. Many have surpassed 200,000 miles, with some still hauling loads today. Priced between $5,000 and $15,000 at launch, the F-150 was a workhorse that stood the test of time, cementing its place as a pickup truck legend. That's why some of these trucks are still working 50 years later, and probably will for another 50. For those who wanted muscle car looks without the Mustang price tag, the Chevrolet Nova was the perfect alternative. This compact yet powerful machine offered a variety of inline-six and V8 engines, with the most potent being the 350 cubic inch V8, delivering 165 horsepower. It wasn't the fastest car on the road, but with a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of about 10 seconds, it held its own. Chevrolet offered both 3-speed and 4-speed manual transmissions, as well as a 2-speed Power Glide automatic. Built with a cast-iron engine block, the Nova was tough, simple, and easy to maintain. Its cooling system and carbureted setup contributed to its reputation for reliability, with many owners clocking 150,000 plus miles. Originally priced affordably, the Nova delivered serious bang for the buck. Today, it's a beloved classic, proving that you don't need a high price tag to own a piece of American muscle history. But if you wanted something bigger, meaner, and even more powerful, the Chevrolet Chevelle was the answer. The Chevrolet Chevelle was a powerhouse of American muscle, built to dominate the streets and the drag strips alike. This beast came with a variety of engines, ranging from reliable inline-sixes to monstrous V8s. But the real legend was the 454 cubic inch V8, pumping out a staggering 360 horsepower, enough to rocket the Chevelle from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6 seconds, with a top speed north of 120 miles per hour. Buyers could choose from 3-speed and 4-speed manual transmissions or a 3-speed automatic, all designed for durability. With a cast-iron engine block and robust internals, these engines were built to last, provided they were maintained properly. The cooling system was simple yet effective, and the carbureted engine management system meant repairs were straightforward. While J.D. Power and Consumer Reports ratings weren't as detailed back then, owners praised the Chevelle for its balance of performance and reliability. Many examples have survived over 150,000 miles, and today, well-preserved models command serious money in the classic car market. But right alongside the Chevelle in the Muscle Car Hall of Fame was the Chevrolet Camaro. Designed to be a direct competitor to the Mustang, the Camaro packed some serious heat under the hood. Like the Chevelle, it came with a variety of engines, but the 454 cubic inch V8 was the top dog, pushing out 360 horsepower. With a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of about 6 seconds, it was a street terror. Transmission choices included 3-speed and 4-speed manual gearboxes, along with a 3-speed automatic, all housed in a cast-iron engine block built for durability. The carbureted engine setup was easy to work on, and the cooling system was generally reliable, especially as emissions regulations started to choke power output in the late 70s. Well-maintained Camaros were known to easily surpass 150,000 miles. Even today, the second-gen Camaro remains a favorite among muscle car enthusiasts, whether for restorations or custom builds. While the American muscle cars focused on power, the Mercedes-Benz 240D was all about longevity. This German-built workhorse was practically indestructible. Under the hood sat a 2.4-liter inline-4 diesel engine, producing a modest 65 horsepower. Performance was, frankly, sluggish, 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 20 seconds, with a top speed of around 90 miles per hour. But that wasn't the point. The cast-iron engine block, mechanical fuel injection system, and simple cooling setup meant that this car could keep running well past 200,000 miles, with some examples even pushing 500,000 miles or more with routine maintenance. Transmission choices included a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic, and while the driving experience wasn't thrilling, the bulletproof reliability made it a legend among taxi drivers and long-distance commuters worldwide. Even today, finding a well-maintained 240D isn't too difficult, proof that good engineering stands the test of time. And then there was the Volkswagen Beetle, which is basically the Nokia 3310 of cars. Drop it, crash it, leave it in a garage for years, it just won't die. With a design that had already been proven for decades, the Beetle's simplicity was its biggest strength. Its most common engine was a 1600cc flat 4, putting out 57 horsepower. Performance exhilarating, 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 16 seconds, with a top speed of around 80 miles per hour. But Beetle owners weren't looking for speed. Instead, they got an air-cooled engine, eliminating the need for a radiator, along with a basic carbureted fuel system, which switched to fuel injection in 1975. The aluminum engine block was durable, and the 4-speed manual transmission was incredibly simple and easy to repair. Owners loved the Beetle's reliability and ease of maintenance, which is why so many of these cars have lasted well over 150,000 miles. Even today, Beetles are still found on roads across the world, proof of the car's durability and timeless appeal. But while the Beetle was holding on to its legendary past, Honda was busy shaping the future. The Honda Accord kicked off what would become one of the best-selling cars in history. Back in the late 70s, this first-gen Accord was a compact yet practical sedan. Under the hood, it had a 1.6-liter inline-4 engine, pushing out 68 horsepower, modest by today's standards, but efficient for its time. Acceleration was decent for a small car, hitting 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 12 seconds, with a top speed of around 90 miles per hour. Transmission choices included a 5-speed manual or a 2-speed automatic. The cast-iron engine block, straightforward cooling system, and carbureted fuel management all contributed to its long lifespan. While detailed JD Power and Consumer Reports scores weren't available back then, the Accord quickly gained a reputation for being fuel-efficient, durable, and easy to maintain. Many first-gen Accords lasted well over 150,000 miles, making it a pioneer in Honda's long-running tradition of reliability. But before the Accord, Honda had already made waves with the Honda Civic. The first-generation Civic was designed as a fuel-efficient and affordable option for the growing economy car market. It came with a 1.2-liter inline-4 engine, pushing out 50 horsepower. Not exactly thrilling, but perfect for city driving. It took around 15 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour, with a top speed of about 80 miles per hour. Transmission options included a 4-speed manual or a 2-speed automatic, both built for simplicity. The cast-iron engine block, basic carburetor setup, and straightforward cooling system made the Civic one of the most dependable cars of its era. It was also incredibly fuel efficient, which made it a hit during the 1973 oil crisis. With proper maintenance, early Civics regularly lasted over 150,000 miles, solidifying Honda's reputation for building small cars that refuse to die. Then came a completely different beast, the Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40. If you needed something rugged, unbreakable, and ready to conquer anything, this was the machine for the job. The FJ40 was Toyota's answer to the Jeep, built for extreme off-road durability. It featured two engine options, a 3.9-liter inline-six making 125 horsepower and a 4.2-liter inline-six pushing 135 horsepower. The FJ40 took a sluggish 20 seconds to hit 60 miles per hour, and its top speed was around 80 miles per hour. But speed wasn't the goal. The cast-iron engine block, rugged drivetrain, and simple carbureted fuel system meant this SUV could take a beating and keep going. Buyers could pick from a 3-speed manual or a 4-speed manual, both designed for tough conditions. The FJ40 wasn't just reliable, it was nearly indestructible, with many examples surviving well beyond 200,000 miles. Legend has it that some of these Land Cruisers were abandoned in the desert for years, only for someone to reconnect the battery and start them up like it was nothing. If that's not indestructible, what is? But when it comes to legendary reliability, Toyota absolutely dominated the 1970s. The Toyota Celica was a sporty yet dependable coupe that gave car enthusiasts a taste of performance without sacrificing reliability. Under the hood, it packed various engine options, from the 1.6-liter 2T to the more powerful 2.0-liter 18RC. But the real star was the 2TG DOHC 1600cc engine, found in the GT model, featuring twin Mikuni Solix carburetors and 115 horsepower. That setup gave it a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of about 10 seconds and a top speed of 100 miles per hour, which was respectable for the time. Transmission choices included a 4-speed manual, with some models offering a 5-speed manual for better drivability. The cast-iron engine block, simple cooling system, and carbureted fuel delivery made the Celica an easy car to maintain. Though detailed JD Power and Consumer Reports ratings weren't available, owners loved its handling, durability, and fun-to-drive nature. Many Celicas lasted over 150,000 miles, proving that even sporty Toyotas could go the distance. Then came the Toyota Corona, a no-nonsense sedan that cemented Toyota's reputation for reliability. This car was built like a tank for its class, with simple but durable engines like the 1.6-liter and 1.9-liter inline-4s. The most common engine, the 1.9-liter 8R, produced 90 horsepower, which was modest but more than enough for a daily driver. Acceleration wasn't its strong suit. It took around 15 seconds to hit 60 miles per hour with a top speed of about 90 miles per hour. But where the Corona shined was in its low maintenance costs and rock-solid durability. Buyers could choose between a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic, both of which were bulletproof when maintained properly. The cast-iron engine block, basic carburetor setup, and straightforward cooling system made it an easy car to keep running. Consumer Reports and JD Power weren't as detailed back then, but Corona owners consistently praised its fuel efficiency, dependability, and affordability. With regular maintenance, many Coronas lasted well over 150,000 miles, making them a common sight on the road well into the 1980s. And finally, we've arrived at the ultimate indestructible machine. It's not just legendary, it's literally been used in war zones. What car are we talking about? Let's find out. If one vehicle from this era stood above the rest in terms of sheer indestructibility, it was the Toyota Hilux. This compact pickup truck was engineered to survive just about anything: harsh climates, extreme off-roading, and even war zones. It featured a range of reliable inline-4 engines, with the 2.0-liter 18R being the most common, producing 90 horsepower. Like the Corona, performance was not the focus. The Hilux took about 15 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour, with a top speed of around 90 miles per hour. Transmission options included a 4-speed manual and a 5-speed manual. The cast-iron engine block, sturdy drivetrain, and basic carburetor system meant there was very little that could go wrong mechanically. While detailed Consumer Reports and JD Power scores weren't available at the time, real-world usage proved the Hilux to be nearly unkillable. Many of these trucks ran well beyond 200,000 miles, and even today, older Hilux models are still being used in remote parts of the world. Which of these classic cars would you love to own? And do you think modern cars can match the reliability of these legends? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the most reliable cars of the 1970s, hit that like button and subscribe for more classic car content. And don't forget to click here to watch our previous video on 10 pickup truck models dealers can't sell. And it's getting worse for 2025.